Here's a story that came out, and it was all over the Reuters, NBC News, ABC. This was a huge propaganda ploy. This was a huge propaganda ploy against the Christian community. What they're doing is they're trying to dub this end-time cult Christian theology, that's what they put it as dangerous or as suspicious. Make sure everybody out there, you watch your relatives and you watch your friends. If they talk about the end times or they decide they want to bug out, make sure you let somebody know, because they could be dangerous. We need to let the police know. We need to see what they're doing is they're setting the grid. They're setting the stage because they know what's coming. Behind the scenes of what's unfolding is dangerous, and they themselves are the ones that understand what's going on in the higher ups, especially within the world government and the unfolding of all the things that are happening within the United States that are being stealthily covered up. And then this whole UN thing about trying to curtail the internet. This is all going to be done tomorrow, by the way. So if you go to Propeticseer.com, we will be covering live the UN meetings with Ahmadinejad and all the other councils that are going on. It'll be live on Propeticseer.com if you want to check it out. And they're going to be talking about seceding the sovereignty of our internet to a world body, which would be the UN. The United States will never again oversee the internet. Though we created it, we do not in any way have any kind of controls over it. Now it is being given up to a world governing body, which ultimately is going to be a world government. And Obama is giving that power to the beast system. He himself, I'm sure, will rise at one point and take a place in that cabinet, either that or rule it. So anyway, check out this video. Check this out. Amazing.
In California this morning, as you know, there's a massive search going on for 14 people, including 8 children, all suspected cult members who, according to police, may be about to commit mass suicide. They've indicated to relatives that they were going somewhere to await the rapture. Meg Oliver is on the story.
Police believe the 14 are all members of a cult-like Christian group led by this woman, Reina Chicas.
They left behind notes saying that they were going to go visit their deceased relatives.
Family members reported the El Salvadoran immigrants, 6 adults and 8 children, ranging in age from 3 to 17, missing since early Saturday. Sheriff's deputies say one person left behind a purse with IDs, personal papers, and letters, saying they were awaiting the end of the world.
They indicated that they were going to the next life, if you will.
The group itself is somewhat of a mystery. Police say members used to belong to a mainstream Christian church before branching out on their own. They're described as fundamentalist in nature. California is no stranger to tragic suicide plots. In March 1997, police discovered the bodies of 39 members of the religious group Heaven's Gate. And back in 1978, 900 members of the People's Temple, based in San Francisco, were discovered in one of the largest mass suicides in history in Guyana. Earlier this year, the group had another trip planned near a wilderness area close to Palmdale, but it was canceled when a member told their family. That person was quickly ostracized and kicked out of the group. For Good Morning America, Meg Oliver, ABC News.
So let's go to Washington now. An ABC News consultant and former FBI special agent Brad Garrett. Brad, good morning to you. To your ears, how urgent does this situation sound?
You know, it sounds fairly urgent to me, Dan, because you're talking about people who have left notes and apparently talked about moving on to another life. And if you compare that both to Jim Jones and Heaven's Gate, it's people that are very determined that life after this life is going to be much better. So I would be concerned.
Well, why do you think it is so common that these groups end up committing mass suicide?
Because what they do, Dan, is convince people that life here is just not any good anymore, that we've become inhumane, or whatever the trick may be to convince people that life is not what it should be. And so as a result, we're going to move on. We're going to feel better. We'll be together in the afterlife and start over as this world, the material world, disintegrates.
Generally speaking, what kind of people are attracted to groups like this?
Well, it tends to be people who are sort of lost in life. They don't feel empowered. They don't feel like that anybody really cares for them. And these groups bring them in. They empower them. They make them part of the brotherhood. And so they feel like they have a purpose in life. And if you combine that with isolation and a charismatic type leader, it can be a combination that can lead to something unfortunate like we may be looking at this time.
So right now there's this big search going on. How do you imagine that this search is being conducted? What kind of tools are they using to find these people?
Well, I would guess, Dan, that they have gone to a place they have been before. You've got all these family members to talk to. Apparently, according to previous reportings, they had talked about doing this and picked a location previously. So I would be surprised if law enforcement is not honing down right now where these people might be.
Unsettling situation, to say the very least. Brad Garrett, we appreciate your time this morning. Thank you.